we've got loads of things in terms of what customers want to achieve and how services can help them. But let's break it down to maybe 3 top use cases. So first use case, everybody knows what this might be. Spin up a site really quickly. How do services help them do that?
So we actually do this quite a bit with sometimes with our pre-existing customers, but also fairly often with new customers who just want to get a website deployed quite quickly. And so we have templated pre-built websites. So a good example of that is a site that we have called Raptor. And that has pre-built components that are already designed and can be deployed as they are. And then all you need to do is load content, or we can migrate that content across as part of a scripted content migration. Raptor is a really good example because it's BPAT certified for accessibility as well. So that we've already basically done as much as we can to make that as fast and trouble-free as possible with still a really good outcome where we've got built-in quality into that solution. So yeah, that's a really good option for just getting something done quickly.
And it can't be not weeks or months, it could be days?
Yeah, the fastest I think we've done it is in 2 days for a house client, for a campaign site. If it's a new client, there's sometimes a little bit more because we've got to look at the content migration. But yeah, it can be done really quickly, especially for things like campaign sites where you're not looking at large amounts of content migration.
Fantastic. Second use case. Customer wants to get really nailed down their accessibility of their multiple sites and experiences. What do we do?
Yeah, sure. I mean, a standard part of our build is that we will always do custom builds to AA accessibility regardless. But if you've had a website, say, out in the wild for a while and there's been lots of people working on it, you might want to regularly get accessibility audits done. So you can ask Squiz Services to do that for you, or you can go to third-party agencies who specialise in accessibility, and they will produce accessibility reports, and then we'll work to remediate anything that needs to be improved upon. Yeah, basically you can, a lot of the time you can do a lot of those sorts of things yourself as well. So you can actually go in, because it's often about things like caption on images and things like that will surface as part of accessibility reviews. Our DXP itself actually has a lot of built-in tools to help with accessibility anyway, so you could actually self-monitor that to some degree. But also we have some of our customers who build websites specifically for people who have disabilities, for example. And so in those cases, we would agree upfront that we're going to build this for AAA accessibility if that's what's needed. And we might build additional tools into the site. So things like having different color contrasting toggles and things like that for our website, we can do that as well.
And we have templates as well that are already AA, AAA rated, don't we?
Yeah, that's right. So Raptor, which is our latest templated website, is BPAT certified. So that's a US accessibility standard, which basically means when we deploy it, it's already accessible and ready to go.
And the third use case we've got, personalization, the elephant in the room, the one that people always strive to do, but never quite seem to nail it, or it's not as easy to get there as we thought. Can you walk me through maybe the levels of personalization we can help customers with?
Yeah, I mean, the DXP will allow you to do pretty much any level of personalization. So it's really the hardest choices that you make when you're doing a personalization project are about what will you personalize and to what extent will you go down that path. And if you haven't done it before, it can be kind of daunting to sit down and go, oh, you know, to what extent should we do this? And you can also make a lot of wrong assumptions about the sorts of things that you want to show to users as well. So our services team have a bunch of UX consultants and designers who can come in and help you to basically work through like why it is that you want to personalize, what are the outcomes that you want to achieve, who are the personas that you want to personalize for. And we have a well-bedded in methodology to help customers go through that. If you've never done it before, we'll often recommend that you start small and just do something quite simple to begin with and test the waters, and then go back and check with your end users, is that working, and before taking the next steps, because you can spend a lot of time and effort on personalization and get it wrong. So if you can go through some really robust processes at the beginning where you're engaging with your figuring out the right type of personalization to do and just keep building on it iteratively, we tend to see much better outcomes and less sort of upfront investment that's high risk.
So it sounds as though the advice is start small, launch something quickly, thought through but quickly, test it in the real world, then iterate, and just keep doing that until you get to a point where you can actually deliver what you intended at scale.
Yeah, and be clear about your goals while you're going about it as well. Like personalizing for the sake of personalizing is kind of pointless if you actually understand that you've got different personas who are trying to get certain things done, and then you're catering that personalization experience to those goals, then that helps guide the path and what you should do.